Northern Michigan has been dealing with some pretty up and down weather conditions these last few weeks. So of course that impacts how our plants grow.
This week Tom is at our raised beds with Morgan Composting's soil scientist answering a few of your questions.
Welcome back, Northern Michigan. We're here at Heritage House. Theo Medendorp from Morgan Composting joining me for Ask the Soil Scientist. I put a question out there last week on Facebook for questions for you to ask to him. My first one from Chris Brower Cook. My yard is turning into moss a little more each year and there's no shade. What do I need to do to stop the moss from taking over the lawn?
Yeah, so a lot of times moss it's just a competition between the grass and the moss, and the grass is really good at winning in the right conditions. So a lot of times moss is an indicator of something wrong with the soil, whether it be pH or a nutrient issue. So the best place to start is a soil test. Send it in to us. We'll let you know what's wrong and what you need to do to get rid of your moss and help your grass.
So get the pH balanced out, the nitrogen balanced out,
Yep.
phosphorus, etc., and then things should grow nicely.
Yep.
All right, next question from, let's see, Nancy. Hi, Tom. My tomato plants have had some blossoms, but we got hit by hail the other day and they're gone. Will she get more? That's the question. So we got tomato plants here. We have a couple blossoms. If hail knocks them off, what's the result? What happens?
Yeah, so the shorter answer is you should get more blossoms. The long answer, it depends a little bit on the type. So for determinate variety tomatoes, they have a set number of blooms that they'll grow. So knocking those off is a bad thing. You might yield a little less, but again, being early in the season, you should still get some more blossoms. With indeterminate, they actually will produce blossoms all year. So in some ways it can be a good thing because they're not putting that energy into the fruit right now. They'll put that energy into the roots. You'll get a bigger, more vigorous plant, and it'll produce more in the long run.
I got one from Christina. Hi, Tom. I get weeds in my flower bed. How do I take care of them?
Yeah, so that's a tough thing. All of our dews are weed free, but just like they make plants grow, they make weeds grow too. You gotta get out there and weed it the old-fashioned way.
Just weed. Go in, take them out. That's all it is. It's a little work, but it takes 5-10 minutes, hopefully. That's all it is. So we have one last question. Jenna asks break down the reason for the dairy dews. What's the differences between the regular dew, the veggie dew, and the flower dew?
Yeah, so they all have their purpose. The original dairy dew is compost. It's designed for amending existing soil. So we usually aim at about 1/4 or 1/2 inch max worked into the soil. It's not something you'd want to put straight into a pot by itself. It's a nutritious compost, but that's where our 201 and our 301 come in. The 201 and 301 are potting soil, so they can be planted straight into. There are some differences. The flower dew has a little bit of extra phosphorus, helps with some of the blooms. The veggie dew is a little bit more nutritious, more of the nitrogen and potassium, which is better for vegetables. So yeah, they work really well in pots and raised beds. If you want to put some right in the hole in your garden while you're planting, that's where those fit really well.
And I know that Justin's helped me out with my lawn too. I had some problems with not much organic in there. He goes,
Yep.
Spread out the dairy dew, basic stuff, but spread out nicely so you don't burn it. And it has made a big difference.
Oh yeah, yep, and that's the big perk of it. It is more nutritious, so you can use less of it over a larger area, and you're building that organic matter, helping hold that moisture.
Yeah, very potent stuff.
Very.
It is. And we're talking about, it's almost the end of August here, August, July that is. We're almost into August. And of course, it's hard to believe, but we are talking about, hunting season just around the corner. And how about getting that food plot ready to go? We'll be back next week and show you what happened last year and how big our bucks are on our trail cams coming up next week.